Hello and welcome to Talking Hoosier Baseball. We are recording this on the evening of Wednesday, May 4th, 2022. I have with me Cassidy Palmer and Chris Feeney. I'm Carl James. Josh Bennett was once again unable to join us, but we do have his picks. I think he's just secretly trying to keep that energy together so we can try to finally catch Cass in the pick'em. So we'll hear about that later in the program. This past weekend, the Indiana Hoosiers did it again. Finally won another Big Ten series. This time at home. This time against a pretty solid Illinois squad. Winning games on Friday. A great come from behind win on Sunday. Did have a pretty significantly tough loss on Saturday. But we will kind of get into all of those. We'll start with Chris this week. Chris was at the BART for the entire weekend and was able to take in the sights and sounds. I was hearing some Josh Pine going on. So Chris, what do you got for us?
No, it was a really fun weekend. Friday's time change benefited me greatly. I got to see the first walk-off of the season at the BART. And I mean, just coming out of the gate early, I thought was important. You know, I remember goofing on Twitter, like the video board didn't know how to start, but we started. You know, we get those first quick runs in the first inning. I think it was big. You know, you're playing a 12 noon game that you don't expect to play at that time. We came out of the gate early. We really added on and added on and added on. We're sitting there, what was it, 6-2, 6-3 late. I really thought, I remember I looked up, I think we were at about 2 hours and 20 minutes or something in like the seventh inning. I said, wow, you know, this is just, talk about a nice, easy win. Yeah. Luckily, I didn't say it out loud, that part. But I did notice and talk about, I did say how quick the game was going by. That might have been enough to be bad. But, you know, they battled back and we're sitting there tied, you know, in the ninth inning. And I wasn't sure, you know, momentum was obviously in their dugout. But Reese Sharp, you know, came out and made sure that we got back in that dugout quick and had a shot at the walk-off. And it really, I don't know why you walk someone to load the bases for Josh Pine, but thank you, Illinois. Yeah, I mean, listen, and this isn't a second guess. You know, this was quite a few of us first guessed it. You know, a lot of thank yous going on around at the BART at that time. No offense, Hunter Jesse. No offense, buddy. You've been hot. You had 4 hits the other day. I'm not saying that. But there's not too many. Give me Whalen or Pine. Those are my first 2 picks to get a hit anyway. And you're going to put one of them up with the bases loaded? You know, I shocked. And then, you know, there was that mishap trying to steal home on the wild pitch. That limestone is bouncy, I learned. That ball came back so quick. You know, he was dead. Max was dead to rights.
And I'm not going to fault him at all for going in that situation.
He wasn't sent. It was clear by some body language on the field, but that's okay. He wasn't sent. He did it on his own, which was, you know, he took a shot. And you know what? Pine didn't care. Again, they had momentum on their side. Now it's bases loaded, you know, one double play or strikeout, get to the next guy. Nope. Base hit, left field, game over. So it was a big win and it felt good. You know, honestly, I hadn't heard a reaction. Not that it was a big crowd, obviously, a day game suddenly on a Friday. But the people who were there, it was like they had been waiting for something like that for months. And literally, I think they were, to be honest with you. It really felt good. The Friday win was special. You know, there's the Luke Miller game. There's the back-to-back Homer game with, Miller and Sowers, right? There's games you remember. Didolo's homer. I'm going to remember, honestly, that Pine walk-off. Absolutely going to remember that one. Call it the Josh Pine game if you want. I don't know, whatever you want. Saturday, obviously, not as good. They came out hot early. They said, you know what, we're going to jump out in front. We're the team that's 11-3. They're the team that's 5-8. And yeah, they gave it to us. To our credit, though, we battled back. We didn't just, you know, we made them burn pitchers, if nothing else. And then credit to Jack Walker. I know he gave up some runs and his ERA took a hit, but I know he saved us at least one pitcher for the pitching he did on Saturday. But yeah, I mean, it was 60-0 at one point. Matheson hits a home run to get us on the board. At that point, I was happy. I was like, okay, it's not a shutout. Because we haven't been shut out the BART in years. So I just wanted that one run. You know, we got, 9 more? I think 7 more, whatever it was. The
9
final.
more.
Was it 9 more? We got a little funny there for a while. We were chanting Kobe Mo because that's become now the comeback chant. So there was some Kobe Mo chants in the 9th, but it wasn't to be. But come on Sunday, man. Just right in the hole early, saying, oh man, look at this. We win Friday and we're still gonna lose the series. That came out on top. It was like what, 6-7-3 early. But there was that one inning. There was that one inning where they couldn't get an out. No. Hit after hit after hit after hit. Pine hits a clutch hit, Matheson with the double, and then the Ellis home run that was like, I don't know, that just took down the house. And they still only had like one out. I don't even know if there was an out at that point, honestly. There might have been no outs. We had 8 runs already. It was great. And you'd think that would be enough, right? But then to have to hold on from then on, and Resharp's already in the game, right? Yeah. He's already pitched before the comeback. That's why you see later that he gets the win. Watching him go out inning after inning after inning, just getting outs. I think I don't have it in front of me. I'll be honest with you. I think it was maybe 2-3 hits in that 4 1/3 inning. I mean, it was really impressive what he pulled off. And, he got us in the dugout quick on Friday. Boom, walk off. And he has to do basically the complete opposite on Sunday. Hold the lead inning after inning after inning. And he did it. I'm really impressed with what he did. There hadn't been a vibe in that place. Since the Bierman dog pile. Can I say that? It seems crazy to say that, but it's true. Mm-hmm. 2020, those games were all early. There was no big vibe in those games. Was it San Diego? It was a couple of
and that was a losing series.
But even if it would have been the greatest game, it was so early. It's not going to be big. And at 20, there's no fans, and it really hasn't been too big. The Kentucky game got a little wild, but there hasn't been too many big games this year. Sitting there knowing it was going to affect if we make the Big Ten tournament, basically from the 5th inning on. Really, it was tense. People were into it. We had a little league team that just jumped onto a couple of chants that we were yelling and extended them for the next 3 innings. It was really fun. A really good feeling at the bar. I got to tell you, I'm excited to get back for the last home weekend. Let's hope we're still alive to go into the Big Ten tournament, because that was part of it. We're not going to lie here. If we got smoked the last 2 weekends and this thing was rattling and kind of wrapped up, it wouldn't have felt like that. But people know that we got a shot to make that tournament. And you know what? There hasn't even been one in a couple of years. We need to get in that. So we really walked out of there feeling good, and hopefully take the momentum on the road to Michigan.
All right. Well, I'm going to take that and I'm going to kind of run with it, because that is my topic, is getting into the Big Ten tournament. I have taken a look at what remains. Right now, Indiana is in a 3-way tie for 9th place, which puts Indiana at 6-9, 400 record in the league, tied with Michigan State and Nebraska. If the season ended today, Indiana would get the 9th place tiebreaker over both those teams. But actually it goes to the 3rd tiebreaker, because the 3 teams haven't all played each other, nor do they have any other Big Ten opponents as of yet in common.
Jeez.
So it actually goes to.
What does it go to? Math grades? Math grades? What's the
RPI? Is what it goes to. Pretty much, Chris.
I thought it was going to be some kind of a scholarship thing or something. That's what they do for the bowls. Close. That's what they do for football. They go to GPA. What are you doing?
So it goes to RPI, and Indiana actually, compared to its record, because Indiana has the toughest non-conference schedule of any Big Ten team. So Indiana has the best RPI among that group by far. But again, that's still only 9th place. Now, the good news is the 3 teams ahead of Indiana are only ahead by a game. You've got Purdue in 8th, 6-7 at a 462 clip. And then Northwestern and Penn State are tied at 7-8, 467. Northwestern holds a head-to-head tiebreaker over Penn State. So those 6 teams are all within 1 game, and 3 of those 6 teams, at least upon looking at here, look like the ones that are likely to get the last 3 slots. There might be something a little interesting that comes in play. And that's kind of what I wanted to discuss here. So let me, so what I've done is I'm gonna go and share my screen. For those of you, I'll do my best to describe it for those of you that are just listening to the audio. But if you guys can see my screen here, what I've got here, I've included Michigan plus those 6 teams that I talked about, and those are in the current order. And basically, I've got a spreadsheet here built that that's going to calculate a predicted win number, and then from that, we'll subtract from 9 to get the predicted loss, then come up with a final record, and then we're going to look at how that comes out. So then basically what I got to do is, if you look over here at the right, I've got the week 7, week 8, and week 9 schedules for the Big Ten. But I've got to come up with a way to generate what these predicted results are going to be. And I've been trying to figure out exactly how to do that. So I try to think about, like, for example, I used to do the real-time tournament predictions, and I did that with an algorithm written in Python. I went into LinkedIn Learning, looked at some machine learning capabilities, and overall, I've looked at that there is a tool that we have access to that is probably going to be far more accurate than anything. So now we're just going to go ahead and lay it out and show what the predicted results are. So we'll start. We'll start with how about here? We'll start with Ohio State Northwestern. Cassidy, how's this going to come out?
I'm gonna say probably Northwestern 2-1.
Okay. I was hoping Chris would chime in by now, but that's okay.
Oh, listen, she's got first place and she nails this, so it makes sense. You're going to ask me, I'm sitting in dead last. I'm figuring this isn't my forte.
Yeah, well, that's exactly that's why I was trying to drive that home, that this tool we have is CAS. So.
Oh, okay.
Okay. Michigan State, Penn State.
Yeah, I'd say Penn State 2-1 on that one.
Okay. Minnesota, Nebraska.
Oh, definitely Nebraska with the series, but I'm gonna say Minnesota takes one from them.
Okay.
I don't think they sweep.
Purdue, Iowa.
I feel like I don't pick sweeps often. I'm gonna say Iowa 2-1.
Okay. All right, and then so yeah, we're going to leave Indiana, Michigan alone. Maryland's Rutgers actually doesn't matter because they're not involved in this. We'll get to that for the pick'ems. Michigan, Maryland.
Oh gosh, I haven't looked at any of these. See, I could cheat sheet a little bit with this week.
Yeah. Well, I wanted the joke to work, so that's why I didn't.
Yes.
I'm sorry.
Listen, she's 22-6.
Yep.
She's 22-6 on the
78% accuracy.
Yes, but I don't think Python. I don't have to pick I don't have to pick the margin on that.
Oh, that's true. That's true.
Let's go Maryland 2-1.
22 out of 28 series picked correctly. That's ridiculous.
Yeah.
Jeez.
Purdue Northwestern. Northwestern 2-1. Seems like it's pretty evenly met. Like the better teams are playing the better teams. The bottom teams are playing the bottom teams, and the middle teams are all playing each other.
Yep.
This one's tough to get. All of the states are like right together.
Yep.
Let's go. Give Ohio State the. I'm guessing that's Ohio State's home. And
yes.
So Ohio State 2-1.
Okay.
I'm gonna give Iowa a sweep there. And Illinois 2-1.
All right. Maryland at Purdue.
Maryland 2-1.
Illinois at Penn State.
Also 2-1, same.
Okay. Rutgers at Michigan.
Ooh, I'm gonna say Michigan 2-1.
All right. Northwestern at Minnesota.
Go Northwestern 2-1.
Michigan State at Nebraska.
I'm gonna say Nebraska sweep.
Cass is not a fan of Sparty.
Nope.
I don't trust them.
Well, the only sweeps you pick were against them.
All right. So if we look at this, Indiana's going to need to get ahead of three of these teams. So we're looking at Penn State, Purdue, and I basically already packed the losses in. So got to get ahead of Penn State, got to get ahead of Purdue, and got to the good news is they only have to tie Nebraska.
Mm-hmm.
So in this case, Indiana's got to get to 12-12. So with that in mind, how does that work, Cass, with the three series? How does Indiana come up with the wins to get up to 12-12?
Well, I'm hoping for a sweep of Minnesota. I don't like banking on sweeps, but I'm gonna. I'd say a sweep of Minnesota.
And then so they can then win one series 2-1 and lose the other one 1-2.
Is it that way or the other way?
No, that'll get to 12.
You.
3-1-2 will get to 12.
No, I meant the 3-0.
Oh, sorry. Yeah, you're right.
No, if we get swept, Carl.
If we get swept at any point, we're done.
No, well, now it might happen.
There's no getting swept.
No. Especially not by Minnesota.
Well, Rutgers swept Nebraska.
I would honestly say 2-1 win against Michigan.
Oh, sorry, 2-1 win. Okay.
Yes.
And then just taking one from Iowa.
Yeah, I'd say not a sweep either way of Iowa,
right.
But
Iowa, looking at it here, could still be playing for regular season title at that point.
Right.
If it plays out a certain way, at least they're not gonna. Those are gonna be huge games for them.
Right.
So we have the Carl RPI, and now we have the Cass Python predictability counter. Not only does she do play-by-play of games where there's no radio or audio, but she can do the Python predictability. You know,
again, I think those ones are. I think those ones are easier to call though, because no one knows what's going on.
Yeah, well, listen, it was a no-hitter. We needed it.
Yeah. Guess what I just missed in that? We didn't even need that.
Oh,
We didn't need 12.
Nope. That would depend upon how the tiebreakers would come up with Penn State.
yeah.
In that scenario, if let's back Michigan out, or actually, you probably want to do Minnesota, don't you?
Yeah, I would actually.
Let's make
change the sweep.
Let's take the sweep down, and then that brings Indiana and Penn State both to 11-13.
Yep.
Doesn't matter what happens to, because Minnesota's I don't have Minnesota even in this calculation because they're
I
so
don't
far
think
down.
Minnesota's going to make the top 8.
No.
No.
So with that scenario, it then comes down to Indiana and Penn State. So who do not play each other at all.
Oh.
So,
But by that point, should have at least a few in commons.
yeah, we'll have in commons. Oh, that's right. It's because my other screen turned off.
Illinois isn't in common for Penn State because it says they play on the last weekend.
Yeah.
Okay,
Just
so let me pull up
blows
Penn
my
State
mind
here.
that this late, you could pick 2 or 3 teams and they have nobody in common yet.
Okay,
Yeah.
Penn State, they did win one against Rutgers, so that puts them 1 game over us for that series.
And they'll be playing Illinois to wrap the season up.
We were even with Northwestern, same result with Northwestern. They won the series against Purdue.
Oof.
So that puts them
So
2 games
-2.
up. In this prediction model, we do not sweep Minnesota, so we would match them with Minnesota. And then, yeah, so that brings it down to 2 games. Yeah, no, Penn State would get the, so that's not going to work.
No.
Nope. Doesn't
Even if
get
Illinois
12-12.
sweeps them?
Well, I think if Illinois sweeps them, we pass them. So,
Oh,
Yeah.
right.
so because I don't think that's how you got there.
Yeah.
Actually,
True.
you've got, you don't have that as a sweep. So with that, Penn State would get the tiebreaker in that particular instance if it came down to that. So nope, it comes down to we need to make that a sweep.
Or we need to win all 3.
Win all 3 2-1.
Yeah.
My biggest thinking upon those things, and I'm along the lines that you are, Cass, which is up to this point against any team, even Minnesota, I'm concerned about the ability of the pitching staff to cover 27 innings to the point to where they can hold off can really hold off a team the whole time. I hope I'm wrong with that. I'm hoping that they can find a way to put a full 27 innings together. We just haven't seen it yet.
The best series that we did.
I say that was actually
swept.
Rutgers. Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
same.
Rutgers was the best series for that.
Yep.
And didn't win a single game. So
It was 22 of those innings we were winning.
Yep.
They led for 5 innings the whole series.
Because of baseball.
Yeah, well, I mean, there wasn't the big football, score game. There wasn't the blowout game. We had 3 close, great baseball games. We just lost them all.
Yeah.
And that's why we were talking about it at the bar. That series getting swept gave us more confidence than most, except till this one, because this one hadn't happened yet.
Yeah.
Than any other series.
Yeah.
I mean, it seems crazy to say that, but we played the best team in the Big Ten. We pitched the best we have all year. We kept our cool the best. We got swept, but we showed we could do it. So it was hard to believe, like Carl's saying, that we could even cover that many innings.
Yeah.
Without a football score game or without a blowout. And we showed it can happen on the road.
Yep.
Yet they were all day games, obviously.
Yes.
But that's just the way Rutgers does it.
Yeah. But the other thing is, if a week ago, Chris, if I would have told you that IU is only going to get is going to have major problems from 2 out of the 3 starting pitchers, and IU wins the series, do you believe it?
Honestly, yeah.
Okay.
I think it was possible. What? We've had stuff.
Yeah, that's true.
We've had pitching problems from the beginning games to the end of games, and you never know who's going to be the guy that's going to stick. It's not like we've relied on starting pitching this year, I got to say.
I'd be asking how many home runs were hit on our side.
Yeah. And
that would be the
how many
determining
runs
factor.
did we give up? How many runs did we give up for the weekend? Did we win the series? Something like that would change this year. On a regular year, I agree with you. But this year, I mean, it's a comeback ability team. It really is.
Oh, yeah.
It has been. We've had some piss poor starts, honestly. We've had some piss poor relief pitching. We've also had some great starts. We've also had some amazing clutch relief pitching.
Yeah.
Yep.
It's been such a mixed bag that I nothing would surprise me.
Yeah.
Yep. Now, go ahead, Cass.
Oh, I was just gonna say, not even just the within game bounce backs and adjustments, but seeing them come back from that ugly Saturday loss and okay.
Yep.
With short memory and moving on, and with such a young team, to see them have that ability is almost insane to me.
Not only getting smoked, but then down 7-3 in the fifth inning?
Yeah.
It reminded me of that
third
Minnesota
inning.
series we played a few years ago where they beat us up real good on Friday. And then we were down like, it was a Lamona season. We were down like 12-6 in like the fourth.
Yeah.
We not only came back and won that one, but then we won on Sunday. So really, maybe it's just because they're so young and they don't know better and they don't get. They feel like it happens more in college than it does in the pros.
Yeah.
Well, I would also say this, which is that while from a perspective of hits and runs in particular, it was a tough start for Bradley Brammer. He still managed to pitch 5.1 innings. That's still huge. The ability to keep pitching and keep collecting outs. Even if he was giving up runs, he was collecting outs in that process, and allowing enough pitching to be saved. And like you said, Chris, Jack Walker later participated in that too, so that because every ounce of pitching that was used on Sunday was needed.
Oh yeah, big time.
Well, and heck, if you had told me after the second inning on Friday that Perkins would go damn near 6, he was at almost 60 pitches after 2 innings. I still can't believe he came that close to finishing out 6 innings.
Yeah,
130 was it? 125 pitches, wasn't it?
I have 128.
Yeah, and we were all. I was sitting around. A bunch of us were debating. All right, when's the next guy coming in? What's going to happen? Mercer goes out, doesn't take him out. Another guy goes. Oh, it's Helderfield to come in for the lefty. Nope, he kept going. Oh. It was really impressive that he was able to keep his cool. And sure, did the guy hit the double? Yeah, but he got through that. I was shocked at that too. That's a lot of pitches. We were calling him Al Leiter. Like, this guy is Al Leiter throwing 140 pitches. We didn't really know the count at that point.
Yeah,
I remember seeing at some point it was like 115, but then that inning just felt like it went on and on and on.
Yeah, but that's honestly part of it. He battled the entire game.
Well, the first 2 innings, bases loaded, man.
Yeah,
got out of those. He settled in. Brammer and then it hasn't been the issue. It's been too many first inning starts and we have to pull them, right? We got to pull a guy in the first inning, we got to pull a guy in the second inning. It kills it. It really does. And so but some of those games we've actually won, which is bizarre to me. But you never know. You really don't with this team. But that's really the wild card, right? Get in the Big Ten tournament because who knows who's going to pitch? We don't know.
Yeah. Well, to me, this was the perfect timing for finals week to show up on the schedule because that bullpen's as rested as it's been all season going into the most important part of the season.
Yep.
Like that is huge. We're not coming off of more double midweeks and okay, well, he went 3 on Wednesday, and so how many can you expect to get out of him on the weekend? We're going into it fresh.
Yep. So heading up to Ann Arbor, 3 games with Michigan. Michigan surprisingly dropped the series at Alexander Field this past weekend. Michigan's been struggling. They're struggling on the mound, more so in giving up hits than giving up walks. I guess that's how they differ from IU. They give up a lot of hits. Good news is Indiana's got an offense that gets a lot of hits.
Uh-huh.
How are we feeling about this series? I know, Cass, you're in the prediction model, at least you gave 2-1 IU win.
Yeah, and I think that's exceedingly possible. I think if Purdue can do it, IU can, even though Purdue won the series against us early in the season. I honestly think this is a very different IU team from just a few weeks ago. And again, with as young as this team is, if you had told me that was going to happen, that they would be able to trend very much upward instead of snowballing, it would have surprised me. I wouldn't have believed it initially, because they are so young, they are so new. Trying to keep some of those emotions and negative things in check can be really difficult. And so I think that if this team right now faced Purdue, faced Rutgers, I think those are series wins. And so I honestly think this team can win all three series that are left. And so, yeah, I think they can beat Michigan, particularly with Michigan giving up lots of hits. I'm looking forward to Matheson and Ellis just teeing off and home running, not against each other, but keep that one hit one, so now the next has to hit one. Keep that little thing going, because that's fun. So I think they can do it, absolutely. But if
I don't see why we would doubt it. I don't see how you could doubt it. Team won like 7 out of 8 games.
But if you had told me 2 weeks ago, I would have been surprised I'd be surprised to beat Michigan at Michigan.
Yeah, of course. They were playing better then. We were playing worse.
Yeah.
Sometimes it's what time you play these guys.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
You know,
and
unfortunately, they got stuck with us now.
Yeah.
And they're not playing their best baseball right now. So.
No. And if there's a time to get hot, might as well be down the stretch to end the season.
Yep.
And honestly, I know Mercer had that other team with all the bombs, and we, played great in the regular season. We made the big comeback to win the title. This is more what he's used to.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Get hot at the end, get in the tournament, win it, because it's the only way you dance.
Yeah.
So this is actually more Mercer's model. No, I'm sure he wants to win. He wants to win a regular season title, no, obviously, but it's not like he's not prepared for this.
Like I said, you look at the conference RPI numbers, and you know that the expectation for Mercer is an at-large bid. Not this season at this point, but that's how it's
now he's, you know what though, like Kat said 2 weeks ago, he has to reload the mechanism and say, this is right state style now, baby. Here's what we're gonna do. We're gonna get hot, we're gonna not quit, we're gonna get in this freaking Big Ten tournament, and we're gonna see what we can do. Our NCAA tournament starts in Omaha, for the Big Ten tournament.
Yep.
So you got one loss. In the NCAA, you still get one loss too. It's the same thing.
Yep. I love watching his post-game locker room videos, and it's like, ready to run through a wall for this guy. Like, absolutely.
We've known that. He's a motivator of young people. That is absolutely. I mean, motivator of old people. It doesn't matter.
Yes.
But he knows what he's talking about. And he also seems to know, like, he reads the room, right? This isn't the stuff we were hearing from him in 19, because this wasn't the situation of the team. So he knows what he's working with.
Yeah.
And he's, we got Matheson. You brought up Matheson and the Ellis, where it was Barr and Lloyd, but that whole team was different, right?
Yeah.
So they're like the outliers now. And, going through red belts and going through things, that's all silly stuff for us, and it's fun. But those stats don't matter to him anymore. All that's going to matter is the only way we're going to the postseason is to win the Big Ten tournament.
Yep.
Well, that's a nice little segue, Chris. Hand out some hardware.
Okay. I mean, I think 2 are pretty obvious this week. For the Joey Donato Award, definitely going Reese Sharp. The Friday, not that many people saw it. I know it's day game on a Friday, but that ninth inning, man, it really set the tone. It was just like, okay, they just came back, but we're going to be hitting real quick, because we didn't get anything in the eighth. He got us right back in the dugout. It was big. And then, hit, and Pine does his thing. But Sunday, talked about it in the beginning. Sunday was an all-timer. It was a clutch one. And so we already get 2 wins. I saw somebody had 9 Ks, barely with any hits. Well, the save was from before.
Right.
Because they were stretching out the week. Yeah.
Right. But 2 wins and a save in a week.
Yeah.
That's
but for our weekend, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah.
But he did. That's true. He got the save there too. But he was excellent for the Joe Donato Award. For the Alex Dickerson Award, for me, it's Carter Matheson. There are a few choices, like really, that you could go with. But if you hit 2 bombs and get 5 RBIs in the biggest game of the season, you get it. That's just how we're going to do this. Especially the down 2-0. That's big to me. I'm big with momentum. I talk about it a lot. You come out of the gate on Sunday after getting killed by 10. Now you're down 2-0 off the bat. Crack 3-2. So not that the other one wasn't big also, but I'm saying that kid can hit. 1 away from Dickerson's rookie record in 09, I believe it was, that he had 14. And then we can pass him. He's going to really end up in the media guide very high up for, I believe D'Angelo had 19, and that was more than what like Schwarber had.
Yeah.
There is a lot of games left in this season for this kid.
Yeah.
He really, really has shown the power and the execution and the pitch selection and the whole thing. Has he really slumped? I know there was that little rough blip in the non-con, but I feel like once he got through that, he's been off.
Yeah, a little slow starting.
Right. In the non-con, right?
Yeah.
But he's really been impressive for the Alex Dickerson Award. For the Tony Butler Award, I didn't really see one standout play, but there were 2 on Friday. Again, I don't know if a lot of people saw these, but these one-hop scoops Josh Pine was making at third and making the plays to first were really impressive to me. He really kept it together. I don't know. That's a do-or-die play, and he seems to make it like he rolls out of bed and he can do this. I really don't understand how he's that good at third base as a freshman. We've been saying it since Clemson. So he's going to get the Tony Butler Award for this week. So we got Carter Matheson, Reese Sharp, and Josh Pine.
Excellent. Yeah, and especially when you figure, and as like most freshman third basemen, he was a shortstop in high school. So
yeah,
they're learning the position pretty much for the first time as well.
Yeah, he's been really good though. Those little one-hop jobs, they're so hard.
Yeah. Well, I love seeing strong third basemen coming through because they've got one of the best to learn off of and ask advice from, and Scott Rowland. That doesn't hurt at all.
No, definitely not. I'm sure he gets in there ears about it. And he seems like a sponge of a kid. I mean, he's just going to learn anybody who's teaching him, really impressive. Just to honorable mention a couple things just from being at the game. The Evan go for it. The 3 hits coming in after the 7th inning. Peter Cerruto, the kid from Jersey, hits his first Hoosier home run, gets another hit on Sunday.
Yes.
I really thought that was impressive. Guys up and down the lineup, not to steal. I know I saw Morrison's video. You need everyone. Of course, you need everyone. But to see guys that we don't normally see do it was cool. Again, maybe sometimes they came in because it was a blowout or, for whatever the case. But this is not the lineup we thought we were going to have. And a lot of guys have been Sam Morrison. Sam Morrison is a guy I did not see with this much playing time doing this well. That catch he made in right. Here's an honorable mention for defense. They're playing right field in the ninth. I know he might have made it a harder catch than it should have been. I don't care. It landed in his glove. He still made it. What a grab that was.
Yeah, and looking at my scorecards here, on the offensive side, at least 8 slots in the batting order reached base in every game. On Friday, the 4-hole did not reach base, and that's it. On Saturday, every spot in the order reached base. And on Sunday, just the 5 spot in the order did not reach base. Now,
Actually,
granted,
I think-
there were
I
different
think you can
people
limit
in
that.
town.
You could actually limit that to that one inning.
Yeah,
Yeah, pretty
crazy.
much. Yeah,
That was amazing.
that was one, actually, because surprisingly, with as much as there was in that inning, all 3 outs were unproductive. That kind of surprises me, but one of the outs came after a home run. The other was with a runner just on first.
Okay.
And then the last one was to end the inning.
Yeah,
But
great inning.
but yes, but that just goes to show it can come from any spot in the order. It honestly doesn't matter who's in which spots. Everybody's producing.
Yep. All right. Well, let's go ahead and then do our pick'ems. We've spoken a little bit about it, although Cass, I'm not holding you to what you did in the other segment to necessarily be your pick'em choices. Although knowing you, I figured they probably will.
They were.
But we'll actually go the reverse order this time, to be fair. So we're gonna go with Chris.
All right.
We'll have Chris. I gotta hold on just a second. I gotta get to my right spot, so I'm recording this. Okay, go ahead, Chris.
All right. So first off, Purdue, Iowa. I'm gonna go Iowa. All right. I don't have to pick the games for this. This isn't the Python thing that Cass is doing.
No.
Okay. So I'm gonna go Iowa, Minnesota, Nebraska. Obviously, Nebraska, Michigan State, Penn State. You know what? I'm feeling Sparty. I think Cass just jinxed the whole thing with all her sweeps. I think Sparty on the road. Okay. I'm feeling Sparty on the road. Ohio State, Northwestern. I really like that Northwestern team that came here. I've been picking them, I feel like, ever since. Northwestern, I'll take. Maryland, Rutgers. You know,
It's the series.
I'm saying I don't want to do it because I don't want to root for them. So I'm just going to take Rutgers anyway. So I'm going to go Rutgers. But man, that's the one. You know what? I really would rather root for Rutgers anyway. If we're not going to win the conference title here, okay?
Right.
But you know what? Let Rutgers do it. Let Rutgers get one. You know what I mean?
Maybe that'll give them enough funding to put in some lights.
Hey, if it gets some lights, it's worth it. I like it, Cass. Cass is on board with the day games. I know she doesn't believe it.
No,
I'm telling you, if we could have had the
Fridays.
parents pull up there and put the lights on, all their cars surround the field, it would have been great. But I'm going to go Rutgers with that, though. So what do I got? Rutgers, Northwestern, Sparty, Nebraska, and Iowa.
Yep. All right. I'm next. Chris is at 12-16 so far.
Hey.
I am 5 ahead at 17-11. I am taking Maryland. I think Maryland, I know they've scuffled a little bit in some weird spots. I think they're just ready to, dude threw a perfect game last week. I think they're about to put the whole thing together. A nationally ranked team. I think they see how important this is and they're going to win this series. I'm with you, Chris, on Northwestern. I'm not sure. I have some of the same doubts Cass has, but you know what? I'm going to go ahead and pick Sparty. I'm also picking Nebraska, and they've been messing me up all season, and I can't believe I'm doing this, but I'm picking the Boilers.
Ooh. Carl's just trying to catch you. The guys
again,
on
it's
top.
like every time it's usually about the other team. It's just that, you know what? Iowa every year does this. Iowa does things that they shouldn't. They win series they shouldn't win, and then they pair that by losing series they shouldn't lose. This is the series they shouldn't lose, and Iowa's going to lose it. All right. So now I get to go again because I've got Josh's picks. Which of all now? Here we go. All hidden from me. Okay. So Josh actually lines up very close with me, pretty much all the way down the line. Now, he's doing better than I am. He's at 21-7, 4 series ahead of me. But he, right up till the end, agrees with me. He's got Maryland, Northwestern. He's also got Sparty, Nebraska, but he is picking Iowa, not the Boilers. So that's where he differs from me. So we've already kind of covered it, but although Cass has not picked in that big top 2 series yet, so Cass, 22-6, 1 series lead over Josh. What are your picks?
Well, I'm going with Maryland as well. I think this is kind of the decides the conference series, and I don't think Maryland gives it up. Also going with Northwestern. I'm going with Penn State. That was probably the one I agonized over the most was that game, but I'm giving the home nod to Penn State. Nebraska over Minnesota, although I do think Minnesota will get a game from Nebraska. And going with Iowa against Purdue. I was very tempted to swap my Penn State, Michigan State and match Josh exactly.
Oh, the block.
But no, I think Penn State does it.
All right. So with that means that if Michigan State wins that series, there will be a tie heading into week 8.
Yep.
If not, Cass will extend the lead to 2. So it's that will be for this pick'em. It's kind of everything's coming down to that 1 series for this week's pick'em. Yes. Michigan State at Penn State. And honestly, it really is. It's a head scratcher.
Yeah.
It's really hard to Michigan State particularly. It's like sometimes they're just awful, and sometimes it feels like, I mean, early in the season there was talk about them, hey, maybe making a run at the conference, and it's just you still just are like, where is Jake Voss's team? Where is it? Where are they really headed?
I'm going with most of the Big Ten is just a big head scratcher this season. Of anybody can beat anybody if they meet them at the right time.
Well, I mean, I think that there's only 2 teams that are legitimately not in the picture.
Yeah.
For the postseason Big Ten tournament. That's just usually, you're talking about maybe 2 or 3 teams battling for 2 spots, not 6 or possibly even 7. Because the thing is, in that whole exercise that I did, you play it right, and it's not inconceivable. If Michigan gets into a slump, they've got Indiana, who is hot. Then they've got Maryland, and then they've got Rutgers.
Yeah,
Michigan could realistically fall into that bottom 5. It's not impossible. That's another possibility to this whole mix. And if that were to happen, wow.
Yeah.
And I'm telling you, it's not, given the way those teams hit, and given how the struggles Michigan pitching has had, that's not inconceivable. So, so we will see. It will be a very interesting thing to look at the weekend. Of course, from the perspective of what's going to happen in the Big Ten. Here we are. We get a May matchup between number 1 and number 2 in the league. That is just that's awesome. So I'm very curious to see how that matchup pairs up. But obviously the Hoosiers, they are heading up to Ann Arbor on Friday. Current schedule, I stress current, is a 6 p.m. first pitch on Friday, 2 p.m. first pitch on Saturday, 1 p.m. first pitch on Sunday. At least according to the schedule right now, it's saying it's not on big B1G Plus Saturday, is what I'm seeing, but it is on.
Is that a BTN game?
No, it says no. It's right now saying no video at all. I don't know if that's just
like that.
something hasn't been actually added for some reason. I guess, I mean, that is the day that Michigan has their 2020 commencement. I don't know if that might have anything to do with them not being able to have coverage.
Well, if a bike race took 5 of our cameras, I could see the graduation taking some of theirs.
Yep. So yeah, so that's the only thing I'm possibly thinking might be an issue there. We might be on audio only Saturday. The other thing to keep in mind is there is a bunch of rain in the forecast. I looked at the hour breakdown for Friday, and right now it's like 50% the entire day. So, which doesn't tell us anything. So probably have a much better idea earlier in the day when the rain is really predicted, and just keep your eyes, ears, and your eyes on social media open for changes in the schedule. Like Chris mentioned, had the game last week bumped all the way up to noon. Something like that could possibly happen this week. But as I said, right now it's just way, way, way too early to tell.
And can confirm based on Michigan's schedule page, it does list Big Ten Plus there.
Okay, very good.
So it must just be a little blip on the IU schedule.
Okay. Excellent.
That's always my next thing is if it doesn't show TV on the IU one, I go to the opponent's one and see what it has.
Yeah, because you only need one. I mean, if there was an issue, to get a feed, you need just one stationary camera is at least something. Yep. Hopefully that's not what we're facing. They'll have everything. So excellent. Anything else we need to cover this week, panel?
Well, a couple things from Pro Bowl Hoosiers we could throw in there. Scott Efros becomes the 11th pitcher to start a Major League Baseball game. Obviously, he was an opener. Okay, he was an opener, but still, it counts. Caleb Barriger got on his from that the same way. So that's the 11th one. I could rip through the names, but you won't recognize many of them. So I will tell you some ones that you know: Aaron Sleggers, Kyle Hart, Jonathan Stever, and Scott Efros, and then Caleb Barriger for the 2 openers.
Yeah, number 2 is Whitey Wilshire.
Well, you know Whitey Wilshire, but these guys don't know Whitey Wilshire. Well, you know Chris Peters or Mike Modak or Ralph Brickner, Ron Keller or Odie Porter. You can have them.
No.
Yeah. So, we did have a retirement from pro baseball. BJ Sable has decided to move on. He's been playing independent ball for the Washington Wild Things, believe it or not. And he had a big playoff run. I remember 2 years ago, I think it was. Just wanted to give him an acknowledgement. BJ was a great Hoosier, reliable, clutch, rubber arm. I can't even imagine the amount of appearances this kid had. Yeah. Never worried about him coming in out of the bullpen. You know, I welcomed it. Where's BJ? Put in BJ. He was always a funny guy. He's a character. You know what I mean? He was a unique dude, and the way he pitched in the Laredo and the Dan Quisenberry and
he drew the mustache on my kid's baseball.
Listen, when he signed autographs, he put the mustache. I mean, we were holding the mustache on that senior day, right? It was ridiculous.
Well, I remember he came this close to an at bat.
He had the helmet on, didn't he?
Mm-hmm. Because if I remember right, it was an extra innings game.
I think he was on deck. I think it was on deck circle.
Right.
It was a game on TV, right? It was a road game.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So shout out to BJ for really giving it a good shot, and good luck with him in the rest of his career professionally. Whatever the case. So we also have one more. Actually, there's 2 more. He didn't give me this one, but I know about it. So Brian Wild got engaged over the weekend. So we haven't heard that name in quite a while. Mm-hmm. But I know I was always a big fan of Brian.
Yes.
He came. I liked him before he played a lot and scored a lot. Just a little bench guy that came in, and the way he finished up as a Hoosier was so big. Mm-hmm. And I always love having that video with him with the inside the park home run.
Yes.
It was 2016 or 2017. So congrats to Brian. And then finally, another one that Pro Bowl gave me, McCade Brown, has been promoted to Class A for the Fresno Grizzlies. Word is he's starting tonight. Obviously, someone wouldn't hear that right now, but he got promoted and he's going to start right away. So congrats to McCade Brown. It's been a lot of stats coming out for the alumni. Seems like every other night, Tommy Summers pitching, Matt Lloyd's hitting all the time, Elijah Donovan, Grant Richardson, highlights from them. Timmy Herron, probably due for a promotion pretty soon. There's Hoosiers everywhere, as Pro Bowl likes to say. Shout out to David Welsh putting out these great videos.
Mhm.
If you see Pro Bowl Hoosiers highlight on Twitter at Pro Bowl Hoosiers, under it is usually some great video that David compiles, and so you can check that out too. But those are just a couple of updates, and that's pretty much it. Just keep an eye and follow the Hoosiers. I know it's just the team, but I like seeing that alumni go through, and we'll see if maybe we can get some more promotions this year to the MLB. Who knows?
One more.
Ooh.
Tanner Gordon's been promoted to Double A.
Oh, there we go.
Nice.
Live. What is that? A live one right now?
It's very recent. Yeah.
Nice. Very good. Live. Tanner Gordon. Move on. He's been having some big games. He had like
Yeah,
a 14 strikeout game for them.
Yeah.
I think it was the franchise record for that minor league team. Tanner Gordon.
Yep. And he got a Player of the Month award of some sort too. So.
Yep.
Probably for that performance with that. That was
Yeah.
a big,
Yeah.
big game.
All right. Well, that will do it for this edition of Talking Hoosier Baseball. We will continue to have coverage. Gary Creech has been our reporter at the BART this season. He has just wrapped up his time with us. Did a fantastic job. Love the work that Gary did for us. IU student writing for us at the BART was just huge. We only have one more series left at the BART. That will be the next weekend against Minnesota. So we're all looking forward to that.
Yes.
I know, Cass, you're looking forward to it.
Very much.
We will see you there. And I will hopefully be over my illness by then, so I can come back to the BART too. But for this weekend, obviously, all eyes are on Ann Arbor. So we are keeping our eyes on that, looking forward to IU doing what they can to play into this Big Ten tournament. Thank you much for paying attention, and we will see you at the BART.